So you mentioned that the traditional larger publishing houses use literary agents. For smaller independent publishing companies, do you pitch your ideas? Sometimes for like blogs and articles, editors will give us content, and then sometimes we pitch content to them. So do you ever like pitch books or do you come with a complete book? How does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question because I feel like that's like the small details, that's where it becomes like, oh my gosh, like it kind of feels like trudging. I feel you're like, okay, like I've embarked on this hike and I've gotten this far and now I'm like yeah, really having to wade through some stuff. Yeah, so traditionally, I'm not sure about like all indie publishers, but a good thing to have on hand is something called a query letter. And it's kind of like a cover letter. And you could just like Google this, like query letter, and you'll find really great examples. Like there's writers out there that like literally have how-to guides about this. So it's like you will find support, like I promise. But kind of like a cover letter, but instead of, trying to like get a job, it's you're pitching yourself as an author, and then you're also pitching your book, and you're kind of like, here's why, you should pick me as an author, kind of putting that best foot forward. So you write a query letter. Some publishers will also want you to put together a like a book proposal, and that's like a little bit of a thicker kind of like packet. And again, there's so many options online to see like what that looks like. And then also some publishers will tell you exactly what they want in the query letter, exactly what they want in the book proposal. So it's like you don't have to go in blind. And in the book proposal, it's again like a synopsis of your book, kind of like who the target audience is for, what need this book is filling, how it compares to what's already like compares and contrasts to what is already on the market. And so that can be a daunting task, but I think that it really makes you get to know yourself and your story, whatever it is, like so intimately. So those are kind of the two things in terms of paperwork that you kind of want to submit forward. And so with smaller publishers, like you can just pitch to them a lot of times. Like you can send in stuff. It's like we talked about earlier, the bigger publishers, that's where you have to be represented. Like you can't just be like, here is my information. And so I did it a little bit backwards in that I had finished my book. Not in terms of editing, but like I had a complete draft of like, here you go, publisher, like check this out. You actually can pitch just an idea if it's a really good idea and you've kind of fleshed it out. You can start there. You can start with like a partial book, a chapter. It's kind of like a little bit all over the place. And again, depending on who the publisher is, they will tell you the requirements. So it's not just like a blind guessing game. It's like, oh, just follow their instructions and you can submit kind of according to that. So, and then what's cool about social media, and I think indie publishers, is a lot of times they will advertise like when they're accepting new authors, or they'll have like a contact person that you can just reach out to. And so, some will say we don't respond to every query, but then some of them do. So it kind of just depends. But I think I like that intimacy of it's like, you're not lost in a sea of thousands and thousands and thousands of books. Like you are communicating with people who are really passionate still about like books and stories, and not just about like how many copies can we sell.